Now, I want to tell you a story about a not-so-big park. This is a story about how an entire community, a cast of thousands you might say, transformed an entire city block of nondescript old buildings and parking lots in Greensboro, North Carolina, into a shining jewel in the heart of downtown called Center City Park. This is Center City Park on a typical weekday, an island of tranquility amid the hustle and bustle of a downtown business day. To create an oasis like this, two things were required: a vision of what this place could be, and money, in this case entirely private money, some $12 million. John Bell was co-chair of the fundraising committee that raised the last $2 million.
We weren't just raising money for the park. That was a clear goal. But our other goal was to get buy-in from the community. People to give money, but also to feel like they were a part of the project, a part of the park, to have ownership in the park. So then when it was complete, they felt like they had some involvement in making it happen.
Alexa Aycock was a co-chair of the fundraising committee.
We raised the last $2 million in really about 6 months' time. So we felt very lucky with that. We got our designer to help us. We had some small gatherings and invited people and had Bob Eulig, the designer, give a presentation about the park and what it would be and show the design and talk about it. And that, I think that really got people interested in it and excited about it.
Indeed, rarely has a park designer had so much input from the community the park serves. Walker Sanders is president of the Community Foundation of Greater Greensboro.
Was going on. There were a number of different community gatherings that we brought folks together to ask them what would they like to have in their park, what uses would they like to have, how would they like it to look and feel. There were a number of different design charrettes where people could draw what they envisioned would be a park. We invited folks to make presentations from across the country that had designed parks and other urban settings so that people could see how other cities had done this. All of that to try to plant seeds and ideas with everyday people to talk about how would you use the park on an everyday basis. And that gave us some great feedback.
With more than a little help from his new Tar Heel friends, Boston landscape architect Bob Eulig created the final design.
I think because our client and the design committee had spent a lot of time thinking really passionately about this park, that the level of expectation and the level of involvement, and actually, their passion was contagious, because I think it helped us get inspired about the possibilities for the park. Within the dynamic of the center of the space was the thinking that it could be used for these larger scale events, and then within the park was the idea that around the edges would be this areas of more intimate scaled activity, or places where people could sit back and watch other people. Often the reason people want to go to parks is to do people watching, just to see what people are going to be up to, whether it be watching people over in the fountain or watching people over by the bird chairs and so forth. So I think we thought that these more niche type spaces that people could have social interaction, if there's two people gathered, that they may be hanging out more around the edges and watching what people are doing on the center of the park. Also, we really wanted to not have one entrance to the park, but we wanted the park to be a public invitation from all sides. So we created gateways that had their own distinct features to them at the four corners.
Well, build it and they will come. They will not only sit and watch other people, they will swat at bubbles, they will have fun with water, they will do cartwheels, they will clown around, they will get married for heaven's sake.